Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your July readings. And this is the featured sign today of Aries. So I'll be reading from Aries through Pisces. And remember, I love and think it's a great idea when I mention and invite you to read your sun, moon, rising, or ascendant, and Venus. I even throw in Mercury, especially for the month of July, which I'll explain. But I just want to say it seems a lot longer since I've done my last readings. I have not been doing my weekly readings because I've had so much happening. And perhaps you can relate to that. I am doing these readings now the last week of June. So anytime you watch them is perfectly acceptable. The messages have just as much importance and impact. And also to say that I had a meditation, as I always do before I do my readings, and I like to pick up on the vibrational energy aspects of the energies of the sign that I'm going to read for, that are surrounding me, the messages I've received, the downloads, intuitive hits, and the colors. Colors have vibration. Colors are representing, how we feel vibrational wise. And it does equate to the fact that I love reading and speaking about our specific chakra for the month. So hot pink came out for you, Aries. Now, maybe not a color you would naturally associate. I always associate red with you because you're a fire sign, a fire element. And you are a cardinal sign. And you have that beautiful Mars, ruled energy about you. You're a leader. You're the first sign of the zodiac. You have passion and you have sometimes volatility. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Now, that's fine as long as you know and you can control it, right? That's, I guess, the best way to describe that, because it's never something I think that anybody should say, oh, I need to withdraw or, or mask the way that I feel. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think it's right. But just knowing your limits, knowing, when you feel like you're going to blow, you want to probably just kind of take those deep breaths, right? So, but the pink part of it is the fact that I believe that you have this natural, energetic, Mars-ruled kind of fiery disposition at times, a little feisty. You also have great, great compassion and love, just like everybody. And we're in the season of Cancer. So Cancer represents that, probably one of the most predominant signs that represents the compassion, family, love, nurturing. And so we're all feeling that because it's in the sign. We're in the sun season of Cancer. But also we have Jupiter that went into Cancer. And Jupiter, the benevolent planet that's just so full of blessings and I would say luck, I would say opportunity. It expands things. It's just so, it's positive. It's so many positivity things. And yes, everything has positive and negative. We're going with the positive because that's what it has. And it visits our sign every 12 years. So I'm not 100% sure, Aries, to be honest. I hadn't looked it up. This is a general reading. I don't know what house in the tropical whole house astrology readings that show where Cancer will be during this next year, because it's going to be for a full year. It started on, I believe, the 9th it was. And it's going to be to the 29th or 25th of 2026. So I know that it's going to affect you and you're going to soften a little bit. Yes, you are, Aries. And even if you're a softie already, you're going to just feel this real notable part of you, because, by the way, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. And so it's going to be a time you're not going to forget. And there might be additions to your family. You just may want to be around your family more. Now, this is June going into July. I'm doing the July reading. So it's going to be about, maybe reunions and vacations that happen. And it's always just such a beautiful, it can be one of the most memorable times that you can make in your lives, right? So I wanted to put that out there. And in addition to that, I'll be reading this and making a very valid point, an important point, that the new moon in Cancer, a lot of Cancer energy, is happening tomorrow, 25th of June. And I want to get these out so they're in a timely, as much of a timely fashion as possible. I'll do my best. I do have another job, but I love what I do. And if you like anything at all that you're feeling or resonating with, please do like that button somewhere, the like button, and definitely subscribe. None of it costs anything. I don't ask for that at this point. I do want to do private readings. If you're interested in a private reading, you let me know by contacting the link below, which would be Pure Massage Therapies. Even if you went onto my website, you'll see there's a button and a tab to get a tarot reading. And in which case you can set up a time and we can chat and we'll go from there, okay? And the number, everything is there that you need. So enough to do about that. I do want to say that I always start by letting you know what the month chakra will be, or the emphasis, I should say. And the chakras are the energy centers. Once again, the energy. Everything is energy. You have a lot of energy. Mostly, you know, I've known quieter Aries, but I've never known an Aries that doesn't have a lot of oops, you know, a lot of power, a lot of energy. So let's get to it. This is there are 8 chakras that I read about, and as I said, they reside in our bodies. They're the energy centers that really, my gosh, they help motivate us and open our hearts, open our throats to speak and to feel the confidence in our solar plexus, or our, you know, our root and our grounded energy. And everything is so important to be our holistic, whole, best selves. So as I shuffle this a bit, let's see if the pink, which basically I was trying to also say is in line with the heart, okay? Because there's a lot of heart-centered energy with, as I mentioned, Cancer, a water sign. You know, water signs have a lot of sensitivity, and they just kind of feel things. They know how to navigate through their feelings. And so for you, beautiful, well, here we go. I mean, last month in June, the majority of them were either this, which I believe is the 8th. I could be wrong. It could be the 7th because it's a little confusing. They're close in color. It's the 6th. I did that last time too. No fear. This represents your third eye right between your eyebrows. So this is your intuitive ability, and with, well, what with all the water I just explained to you, with all the emphasis on Cancer now and through July until the 20th when we go into Leo season, man, you may just really have a heightened sense of your intuition, excuse me, and your ability to just have this, strong clairvoyance, profound maybe dreams come through. I've been having some crazy dreams, Aries. I have an Aries moon, so there's a compatibility there that I get for Aries. Really, really feel a lot of, I just understand you. You know what I mean? It feels great because I'm not an Aries. That's my moon. But that's the point. You can read a lot more about you than just the sun sign, because we are far more than that. But I'm going to read you what it says about this beautiful 6th chakra. And know that 6 generally represents a number of balance. The 6th house is our day-to-day activities, you know, work, play, and trying to always keep that balance whenever possible, personal, private lives, that sort of thing. It says, my intuition connects me to the all-seeing, omnipresent nature of the universe. Divine intelligence flows through me. I am provided profound insights that allow me to navigate life's constant movement with simplicity and ease. I should have this memorized. It's come up so very, very much. And not to, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a couple of the very, very prominent aspects that are happening in July. And one that's been going on for a while, the changing of the eclipse season, which we're not having in July, but we're going to start to feel the effects because they will be coming up and starting. Well, the first one will be in September. So this is important. But for now, I will say that I would really not be surprised, Aries, if you start to really feel like you're way more in tune with your gifts as far as your psychic abilities and your intuition and those sort of things, okay? In addition to that, I'm going to be wearing and infusing the reading with, because I'm going to be doing a tarot reading, as I do for every sign, and it's coming up, and it is going to be, I'm going to put in the beautiful amethyst, which goes with these, with the third eye, and that is the one I just read for you, the sixth chakra. And it says on it very, very clearly, insight, dreams, and intuition. So amethyst, I'm connected to my inner knowing, which strengthens my healing abilities and insights. You know, Aries, it's going to change like so many of the planets have, and especially with you, when we had Neptune and Saturn go into your sign for the first time in just too many, well, not even a lifetime with, I believe it was Neptune. Saturn, it happens a little more quickly, but this is, it's, you know, unprecedented. So that's Aries, that's an Aries. And I'm going to put this in here. I swear I am. Here it is. And like I said, I'll be infusing the reading, but to mention to you that there are 3 retrogrades happening in July, and we don't have to concern ourselves just yet, but actually you probably will feel it and don't realize it. The effects of the, you know, up and coming pending eclipses that happen every 6 months throughout our whole life. The retrogrades, however, are going to be Saturn, which I just mentioned, and Neptune in your sign, Aries. So this is important. This is vital. And if you have an Aries sun, you may have a lot of Aries placements, which you can always look up for free and very quickly and get a whole much more depth into who you are. And also, so that'll happen, let's see, Saturn happens on July 13th, and it's going to be retrograde through November 27th. These are occurrences that happen every year where the outer planets, the slower moving planets, though they affect us, do go into retrogrades. The next one will be Neptune. They tend to travel together anyway. And that will go into retrograde on July 4th. Boom, 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 firecracker time, right? And that'll be in retrograde till, it says December 10th, I believe, yeah. And then we have good old Mercury. Mercury, that happens like 3, sometimes 4 times a year, that retrogrades. Mercury is the planet of our mind and mercurial business, you know, technology, fast-moving planet. It gets a little crazy with communication, transportation, and technology. If you've never heard of it, look it up because there's a lot to learn and there's ways to work with it. It feels so good when you work with anything, you know, and go with the flow. Know that there's going to be delays. Know there'll be changes. As a massage therapist, which is my full-time gig. Other than this, I continuously have reschedules and things during that time. I do have my appointments that can be set online and so forth. I do try to be as savvy as possible in the technical world. But I do want to say that I always have a backup, you know, written in booklet as well, because when technology, you know, goes out, that's it. And I don't rely on that. And my memory, not so much either. So either way, you get the gist. So those are the 3 retrogrades happening. And, you know, just know that those are times of introspection. And it's perfect because a lot of times people are on vacation. So if things are delayed in the airport and that sort of thing, which happened, or, you know, you didn't quite get the email that you're hoping to beforehand, that maybe set something else off, and, you know, there's delays going to work because they're doing road detours, which is an absolute every time for me. I don't know about you out there, but that's just a given. So just be aware of that and allow a little extra time. And then before you know it, you're used to it because they tend to take a while. And know that Mercury will go direct again on August, the 11th. So, and then there'll be shadow periods on either side where you're kind of feeling not 100%, but you're still, things are moving up and forward. And so that's that. That's the spiel of the astrology, other than the fact that we have 2 moons I will mention. But let us get to the reading too, because I know you want that and I want that for you. And I do talk, but I try to make it important because it's about you. Okay? And let you know some really vital things. If it sounds like Greek to you, through time and coming back and me helping you and sharing the knowledge I've had and have known for a lot of years, it's really kind of beautiful and very, very accurate in a lot of ways, okay? As general as it may be. So I am using this beautiful gilded tarot deck I've had for a long time, but I actually had it at work because I do readings in person at work. And at my studio, I should say. And I love this deck. It's beautiful. It feels good. And it usually has just very, very good energy for me when I'm reading. So let me let you know that I'm going to be doing the 6-card spread and ending with an oracle as well, if you want to hang out and get a part of all of this. And know that, yeah, your ability, as I said, with this soft, beautiful energy in Jupiter and Cancer can be very, very beautiful, and memories, and it could be about family. It could be, like I said, even friendships, or just what you consider to be family, right? Just feeling that warmth and that part of you that just emotional. I don't think a lot of fire signs in general, but you're passionate, but emotional doesn't come straight to mind. It's water that tends to definitely do that. But you may have water in your chart. So as we continue on, I'm going to let you know that I am reading for the past, present, and future. Past can be as recent as this morning prior to this reading. And it's not linear, it's not an absolute. This is for entertainment, of course, but it also, like I said, I do get downloads. And if I have any extra information other than the messages on the cards, I'm going to let you know. And then we're going to clarify each card too. So I hope you can see pretty well. I will hold up to the camera the cards as well to help. But let's get going here. So for July 2025, Aries, your first card is the 2 of Pentacles. Wow. All right. Well, this has the earth energy to it. Pentacles or coins represent the earth signs. Now, what I didn't tell you yet is the moons, and they're essential. You look up, you see them, they're definitely affecting us. Everything in this vast universe does. It's mystical and magical, and that's why I like to mention things, because it's really happening, But when you can see it, it's really kind of wonderful. And so the bottom line is that we are having our we're having our full moon. We will have had the new moon tomorrow in Cancer, and they run about 2 weeks apart. So the full moon is going to be in Capricorn, and that is an earth sign. And this has to do with your fundamental, energy of the earth and your day-to-day processes, things that you can feel, taste, touch, smell. It could be Capricorn as far as an earth sign, or Taurus or Virgo. And remember, we have North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo in these series of eclipses that we will have through 2026. I think it's even longer. Well, 18 months, probably mid-26 is what I'm thinking. That's right, because it started in January of 2025. Anyway, 2 represents 2. And when you see it in this respect, it is the 2 of Pentacles. So we have basically the balancing act, okay? And it seems as though you've been carrying a lot of, just stuff to do, things to do, agendas, people to see, places to go. That's not sort of who you are anyway. You like to be active when you can. And I know you like your downtime, but for the most part, you've been juggling quite a bit. I think you're doing a great job, though. This is what I'm picking up on. I see it as a positive, and that's important because it could have to do with your finances and feeling like things are pretty balanced. You can always use more than 2, the ultimate being 10, right? So let's see what the clarification card has to say for your recent past coming into this reading, beautiful Aries. The Chariot. Well, there you go. So the Chariot is victory. It is movement. And I know that from the beginning of this year, boy, with so many retrogrades, it was very different. We've had this sort of thing. Every couple years, Venus goes in retrograde like it did. But the Mars retrograde was the longest I remember in a lifetime. And I've been looking and studying this for so many years. And well, that's the thing I love about astrology. There's cycles and things of that nature, but there's things that remind you of, because they're the same planets, but it's a different time. So therefore it can't be the same. And they have, similarities, but differences, right? So vehicle, your body, yourself, just being in charge. You certainly know about the ups and downs, right? You've got the black and the white. I want to say onyx. I don't know if that's phoenix or no. I'm sorry. I'm forgive me. It depends on the actual deck, but they're animals. I know that much. And they represent life's, ups and downs, and just knowing you need to just accept them in order to continue to grow and to get strengthened and to evolve in your life. And that's exactly what you're doing. There's a mastery here. There's a vindication, you're on top of your game. You might want to be traveling, makes sense with the car, and the chariot, if you will. You might want to buy a new car. You may be thinking about that. You're working this out financially in a way that works so that you're not overspending, of course, and keeping the balance, as I said, and keeping the payments down as much as possible. Here's a really cool, wonderful part of retrograde, certainly Mercury, that I have found. And that is when a client reschedules and I'm like, oh man, I was expecting that income, or, wish I had more time to know that there are these beautiful pockets where, because that time is freed up, you're able to go, and let's say you're going to get a car. Then you realize, oh my gosh, I just got one of the best deals possible. I mean, I've never seen such an amazing deal in a car, whatever it may be. And that's absolutely the beauty. That's one of the best parts about retrogrades. It's true. I don't know exactly. I can't really describe why. I can tell you though that's what happens. And it's also a time when you don't want to push out too much. Nothing's necessarily going to come back. Don't necessarily start new initiatives. You can think about them and really plan them. Perfect time for that. But I'm liking this a lot. So let me know, if you would, in the comments, if you have aspirations of getting a car, you've been saving up, you're traveling. It could be other forms of other forms of transportation as well. But do remember, during retrogrades and even other retrogrades, just plan out the possibility of things not going exactly to plan and being flexible about it, okay? And having a great attitude, because that goes a long, long way, or you're just bummed otherwise. So your present energy, the moon, Cancer. Cancer's ruled by the moon. We're in Cancer season. We have the new moon, as I said, on the 25th of July in Cancer. So write down your intentions, your deepest feelings, all right? Because it's a lot about feelings and emotions, and that's the key component to manifestation, to think something into reality and to have that fiery ambition like you do in spirit, but to feel it into existence. And that's a strong indication that can very well be happening, and you may have a lot of beautiful manifestations transforming you and the month of July. Now, the full moon, as I said, is on the 10th in Capricorn. And so, that could be about your work life, your ideas, and, really, it's going to really put a spotlight on things. You might want to culminate in, you might be starting a new job, entering into a new anything, because you've finished the end of the other. The culmination brings the new beginning. And so this is perfect too. The clarification of the moon, and how we don't always know exactly what's happening right away with the moon. So don't expect to know with the Capricorn moon, but by the new moon on the 24th in Leo, your fellow fire sign, wow, that's powerful. And I think it's going to be so incredibly positive for you, Aries. Now, the 9 of Wands is the fire. It's you. And the 9 represents completion. You're just about there. You're just about to turn that corner. You've worked hard. You've toiled. You've put as much energy as you possibly can. Hang in there. You're going to get the answer, okay? And also know that this is a 9-year. So there's going to be a lot of completions, a lot of transformation with the changing of the planets. And I didn't even mention that. So as every pretty much month of this year has gone by, there's been a change in a planet, and one that had been in another sign for a long time, and now it's not. And there's no exception in July. July on the, what is it? The 7th of July, we have Uranus, the planet of unexpected unpredictability, you know, just technology. And here we have the confusion of Mercury, but just exciting, exhilarating, out of the blue changes and, you know, innovation. It's going into Gemini. It's been in Taurus for a very long time. It stays in each sign for 8 years. And it will go back into Taurus for a bit. This is a retrograde. And then it's going to, well, I don't think it's a retrograde. I apologize. Well, and I do believe it's going to go back anyway when it does retrograde. And then it'll be for 8 years in 2026. So there's just a lot. But it all is conducive to what I'm seeing here. And the motivation is there. And the trust is everything. Okay, you need that trust, beautiful Aries. So your future, you have the Hermit. Now, I can honestly say, as I do have the Aries moon, I have been such a hermit. I have had these ideas. I know the changes that I'm making. They're actually coming through. I've had to wait a long time. Maybe you do as well. The Hermit is such a wise, beautiful card. And the thing that I love about it is it's got this lantern that's holding a star. Your deepest dreams and wishes, and never ever letting go of that. Listening to your higher power, listening to the voices of the angels and guides and your higher spirit, connection to source. Let it be in the quietest times when you remove yourself, maybe on vacation, like I said, to really listen and know that you will never be led astray and you will never lose that what is yours meant to be. Let me say that again. You will never lose what is meant for you. And then what I love is, well, love, I guess that's a strong word, but I love a lot. In addition to the Hermit for your present, there's the Hangman. Well, there's the Pisces energy. The North Node and the pending actual eclipse happening in Pisces, because we're in that series. It's on September 7th, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. The Hanged Man is about patience, and it's about waiting for that perfect opportunity. It's not about rushing. And I know as an Aries, and I know that they have this notable archetype of being a little impatient. You know, like what they want now, and they want it, even if they don't know exactly how to get it, they're just, I want it. And then they may have to retrack and redo things. So you don't want to have to do that. But your insights are going to be very, very clear. Your perception is going to be different. It's a pleasant place. Maybe because you're away and you're saying, you know what? I don't want to be bogged down by the confusion and the concerns and the impatientness. I just want to let it go and surrender, as I say, and know that, yeah, let go and let God. So this isn't a very, and by the way, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana out of the 6 cards. So this is really your confirmation, and this was your clarification that waiting and being still and listening is so very, very vitally important for you right now, Aries. With the changes that you're going through, it's going to be incredible for you in ways that, I can see new family members, maybe pets, family-oriented things happening. You know, maybe you're focusing on your home because you're decorating or renewing or reviewing or selling, or the travel is definitely a part of it. But just know that, you know, downtime is so important right now, and everything will reveal itself exactly what you need to, when it needs to. But I really feel like it can happen by the new moon at the end of the month for you. It's such a beautifully compatible moon for you. So in finishing, as I said, I'm going to do one oracle message. Thank you for your time so much. I just love what I do, and you know, it's a small channel, but I'm hoping to build it through time, and that's called persistence and doing things that I love, you know, and hopefully resonating and getting a beautiful community of like-minded people who understand, and knowing that I have some new things coming up as well. And you won't always be seeing the gloves, you know, and all this sort of, I'm always going to keep things changed up, but I do love energy and I love color, and that's what this represents for this more recent change I've done. So in closing, I'm going to pull 2 cards, actually. I'm being asked to do so. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed, one of my favorites. And oracles are amazing. They're there to help and guide us and you know, remind us of things we probably know, but just to keep it alive, I guess, is what's coming into play. Now, the Desert Prince, survival, false promises. Number 19, so there's a beginning. This is the end of what was a false promise, what you believe to be true. You've got this beautiful picture of, looks like, besides being a very handsome man, it looks like definitely representing a fire, because it looks like a wand, and there's the Leo lion in the background. So now the desert means to me that really there's the strength, you know, the strength in you to get through even the more barren times, or the times that have been a struggle. You are persevering, you're starting anew, you're having that faith, you're definitely keeping in touch with your fireside. Let's do the second card, like I said, because there's something more to this. But it's just knowing you have all that you need. Once again, there's no rush. Make sure you get hydrated. Certainly is coming to mind. And then Gaia's garden. Fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. 18, which is 9. Once again, equaling 1 and 8, equaling 9. 9 being the 9 year. It's a very, very, very powerful year for you, and years to come. Everything that you may have felt deprived of, the desert, you know, kind of feeling, it was only helping you to grow and recognize your strength. You know, the Leo does represent strength, your determinedness, all of those wonderful attributes that you have, Aries, and your leadership. And then knowing you can reap what you sow now because of it. You know, we all have those cycles where there never seems to be things happening quick enough at times. And sometimes you actually want it to stop, and you want that time to just take your deep breaths and enjoy life. Enjoy the moment. Thank you for being here once again. I hope you have a phenomenal July. Please come back for August, because that's another great month coming up, and we will have finished the retrograde. But until then, take great care of yourself. I love you. Bye for now.